Hello. Bob will be here shortly. He's outside. It's kind of cold where we're at. Day before Christmas. Looks like everybody probably still shopping a little from what I noticed. The roads are busy and the stores are busy, and for like me, they ran out of money last week. I don't know what they're buying it with now. I didn't have a whole lot to start with, money I mean. But wish you all a Merry Christmas, and maybe my less handsome cohort will be here. He is here. He's here now. No, I built a fire. We'll have to.
Courtesy of diggers.
We'll have to brag on Digger tonight.
That's right. I was down there today.
We're sitting here. We're on right now. We're sitting right here, folks.
Did you eat some of that fruitcake coming from Kentucky?
No, not yet.
Oh man.
Good.
You need.
I'm gonna eat mine tomorrow.
You just need to sample that thing.
I'm gonna eat mine tomorrow. I tell you what I did do though.
What?
I took that green wrapper off of it so everybody quit looking at it like there's something wrong with it. I rewrapped it, but I've got it saved. I wasn't gonna cut it tomorrow.
I gave Elizabeth the ace a taste of that, and I was about to fight me over it.
I don't know whether that's the same kind I got last year or not. I got one about that big last year, and I kept
from her.
Yeah, and I kept it, some of it till day before yesterday, and I cleaned out my refrigerator.
Right.
She said it'd keep a year, and I got afraid to eat it long about March, but I kept what was left there, and I couldn't eat it fast enough.
It's good. It is really good. I'm gonna have to see her and tell her how good it is and how I appreciate it.
I'd say she's watching now, or we'll be in the rerun.
Right.
We're sitting here in front of Digger. One of Digger's Mr. Heater says right there, Mr. Heater.
Yeah, it just Mr. Heater, Mr. Digger.
It don't say nothing about Digger, but Digger's the man that you get your propane from.
I just ad-libbed that.
562-5444, right in the middle of the road in Sawmill Holler.
Yeah.
You're getting over there.
That's where it's at, yeah.
You're getting warmer, are you?
I'm just trying to get in the picture.
Oh, well.
Okay.
You could get up and go turn the camera, but I ain't leaving. I'm too warm.
I don't know, not that people really want to see me all that much.
Well, we're trying to improve our viewership.
Right, I might have to go back to my sign language. You know, you can't never tell.
Well, you got us kicked off the other night.
They
closed up and went home.
They're going to let us back?
Closed up and went home. They got our money, they ought to let us back. I don't know whether they'll be there next week or not. I'm supposed to call and find out.
Right. Okay. Well, we're here tonight, folks, and this is Christmas Eve here in Lafayette, Tennessee, US of A. We're coming to you. This is the Wild Bob and Ronnie show, and I'm the good-looking one.
No, that's a matter of opinion.
Right,
We're going to vote on that. Everybody here who thinks I'm better looking than Bob, hold up your hands. Everybody here who thinks Bob is better looking than me, hold up your hand. Now you got one, because you're off the picture there. Just no, you're holding up a cup and a hand. Okay, well, it's a tie. So you got your Christmas shopping done, Bobby T?
Well, all I can afford to, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't know how these people are still shopping. I run out of money last week.
Yeah, me too. But folks, you know, this Christmas, this will be the 79th Christmas that I've been around here for. If I make it through midnight tonight.
It's my 65th if I make it.
79 of them, and you know, Christmas is always a very, very special occasion to me. It was when I was small. I know we'd go down in the pasture. We had a bunch of cedar trees growing down in the pasture where I'm from. They didn't have any Fraser firs or white pines or anything. You had either old yellow southern pine or you got cedar. And we go down and cut a cedar. A lot of times I'd cut a big one that would make a post, and I'd cut the top out of it for a Christmas tree.
There's the only way you get one that's pretty.
Yeah, because my daddy would not let us cut one that the bottom part wouldn't make a post. He didn't believe in wasting anything. And
well, I found one of the scrawniest, one-sidedest, whopper-jawedest trees in the country, but it's out there in my living room. It looks kind of pretty.
right, yeah. And we would decorate that. That's American red cedar. We would decorate that thing with popcorn and some Christmas bells, and we'd make all kind of homemade decorations to go on that Christmas tree.
You seen any icicles to hang on trees lately?
Yeah, I haven't seen any lately, but
you know why?
Why?
Makes the trees too hard to recycle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, I guarantee you, if you threw them in the lake and had them to sink with the icicles on, I guarantee you the crappie would, they would nest in it just as good.
You've got to grind them up and make mulch out of them.
Yeah, okay, all right. But you can't ever tell what's going to come down the pike nowadays. So many of our long-standing beliefs and celebrations are completely, or they're just under attack day in and day out. And you saw what they did to the guy on Duck Dynasty.
Yeah, you saw what the people done to Cracker Barrel too, didn't you?
What was that?
Well, Cracker Barrel announced the next day that they were going to pull some of the Duck Dynasty items from their shelves, the ones that had Phil's picture.
Right.
The next day they said, "We sorry, we putting them back."
Right.
They got so many people mad that was a dumb move, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that was just plumb stupid.
Right.
They ought to know. I mean, A&E, that's one thing, but Cracker Barrel, how stupid can you get? Did they think that them people from downtown Philadelphia was trading with them?
Right.
No. You got to watch what they think in Philadelphia. Well, there was, we learned that when we were talking about the shell place down
Right,
here.
yeah.
Yeah. Where they got that there offshore, didn't have any of that there offshore tech support.
Right, yeah. Well, you know, what the guy had to say on Duck Dynasty.
Now, folks, where sponsors have nothing.
He said it very well, and it was his honest opinion and his belief.
And it was scriptural.
And his belief, and it was backed by Scripture. Now, the problem we have in this country is not that we have too many homosexuals. Only about 2% of the population is homosexual or have homosexual tendencies, okay? But yet they far outreach their number in the influence that they have on the media, especially on newspapers, on some radio talk shows. And
well, the main thing is political correctness has crippled speech in this country.
Yeah.
You know, I say that, you know, they come out and said that was a First Amendment thing. They couldn't fire Phil over his what he said. I don't agree. It was not First Amendment. I think A&E had every right to fire him.
Right.
Except that if it had been a different situation, if you had a fella working for you, say you was running a retail business and had a lot of customers, and you had somebody working for you who was just saying all sorts of things about gay people and black people, whatever, you could fire him and get by with it. But if it was just the other way around, if you were there saying that I'm a straightforward promoter of free abortion, I'm a forward and admitted, and yes, every time a customer walked in, he said, you know, I support abortion, I support gay rights, and if you had that employee doing that, you wouldn't be allowed to fire him. Although he might be running your business off, you wouldn't be allowed to fire him. Right. So you can look at it two ways. If the law works one way, it should work the other way. That makes it, if one's a First Amendment thing, so is the other. Right. But it's really a 14th Amendment, because you're supposed to have equal treatment under the law. Right. And we don't, you can't argue that there was equal treatment under the law.
Also, see, it doesn't really come under the First Amendment either, because the First Amendment is for the government to keep you from saying what you want to say. Well, this was not a government situation, even though it all goes back to government sponsorship.
But the government will tell you what to say if you're saying something else. Yeah. It was what he said. I agree that it's not a First Amendment thing and shouldn't be. But the thing is, had he been saying the opposite thing and got fired for it, the government would step in then.
Yeah. That he was discriminated against for his beliefs.
You know, there was a restaurant over in Knoxville that refused to serve Stacy Campfield because of his...
Yeah, I know.
Okay. If it had been the opposite, do you think they would have got by with that?
Oh, no. If it had been a bunch of homosexuals wanting to come in, they wouldn't serve them. It would have been a big lawsuit and a big write-up and everything.
Yes, sir.
Oh, what I'm saying, a lot of our traditional beliefs and social values are steadily being stomped down.
Yes, sir.
And you take recently the Utah law against polygamy was found to be unconstitutional. Mm-hmm. Now, that does not necessarily mean that polygamy is now constitutional or that it's now legal.
Okay.
But
well, the problem is when Utah was admitted into the United States, when they joined the Union, they had to agree to outlaw polygamy in order to get accepted into the Union.
Right. Yeah.
So now they're having to violate their own constitution in order to stay in line with this ruling.
Right, that's exactly right. And you know, what was my daughter, who's a recent college graduate and still very much in the liberal mode, even though she's changing somewhat. She told me, she says, well, you know, says anybody ought to have the right to love who they want to.
Yeah.
I said, well, that's possibly right. I said, do you think it would be acceptable for a daddy to marry a daughter, or for a brother and a sister to have a civil union, or for mama and a son to have a civil union, or for mama and a daughter to have a civil union? I said, exactly, where does the social norms come in anymore? There are no social norms anymore. They kind of make the rules up like the government does on everything else as they go along.
Yeah, a man ought to be able to marry his tractor if he had a tractor.
Sure. How about my goat?
I ain't marrying no goat. You can if you want to. What are you, Muslim? Here's the thing. We have lost the ability to have a difference of opinion. We can no longer have an argument in a civil way, because anything you say is considered racist or sexist or biased in some way.
Right.
And we're locked in. How can you fight when you can't talk? You know, they say the power of the pen pen's mightier than the sword. Well, the pen has been corralled, Bob.
Oh yeah, it's been, all the lead's been taken out of the pencil.
They're all afraid to say anything.
Right.
People, I mean, I hear these people come out, and the people that support the Duck Dynasty guy, they come out and the first thing they do, they always say, well, I just disagree with him, and I don't like the way he said it, but I support his right to say it. Well, why do you have to put that disclaimer in there all the time? Why don't you just have the guts to just say your mind, and then, unless somebody asks you what you think about it, just keep your mouth shut. And no, by the way, they asked Phil for the definition of sin, and he gave them a scriptural definition of sin. Now, whether you reject the Holy Bible, that's up to you. But he professes to be a Christian, and he was giving you just the same as if he'd read from the dictionary what the definition of is.
Right.
That's what he did.
Right.
I predicted it. It won't work out. It's helped the family business more than it will ever hurt them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure of that. And I kind of expect some reconciliation to be made. See, he's already got 10 episodes up front, and so time those 10 episodes are aired, a lot of this will have blown over.
Well, here's the thing about it. I think that they let that happen because they wanted to rein that family in. See, they closed. Have you ever watched it?
Yeah, no, not really. I watched just a little bit of it.
I hadn't watched it. They've been popular for 3 or 4 years, but I had never watched it till just recently, and somebody rented some of them, and I started watching them, and I really like them. But here's what they do. It's a setup thing. I mean, it's not scripted, but they go out there and set up situations. They have to have the cameras in place to do stuff. But they just turn them loose and let them say their mind, and it's just funny the way they think, the way they do stuff, and it's logical. They're all educated, they're intelligent, and they're all successful.
Right.
But here's the thing: they're selling family. They end every episode with a prayer. They sit down to eat supper, and they give thanks for the meal, and then the show goes off.
Right.
Well, there was one time there when A&E bleeped the name Jesus from the prayer.
Right.
And these guys said, whoa, here, no, we quit. Or you put it in there, we quit. And I think this was an attempt to rein them in. I think that they thought that the money was so big now, and the popularity was so much, and the fame, and the, you know, that they could have some
control.
Control. But here's the thing: somebody should have realized that what makes that show sell is family,
Right.
and the strength of family.
Right.
If these guys agree to do that without Dad, it's over. Nobody will watch it. Everybody lose respect for them. Everybody's decided they're fakes. It's over with. They had no choice but to pull out.
Well, maybe they ought to give the syndication an ultimatum. You know, either bring Dad back or we ain't gonna be here.
They already did.
Huh?
They've not just been that blunt about it, but they issued a statement: we cannot see ourselves continuing without our patriarch.
Right. Okay. Well, see, they can always go on the blaze.
I know it. I sent that as soon as I heard about it. I heard about it about 7 o'clock. Whatever night, I guess it's Sunday or whatever it was. And I tweeted old Glenn Beck, and I don't know a thing about tweeting. That's the only way I knew to get a message out there. And 20 hours later, I read that he had invited them to the Blaze.
Right.
I think it'd be great for internet television.
Yeah.
It'd help us.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. And you know, I don't know what they should not be pioneers in going in that direction.
I agree with you. I agree. That's what Beck did.
Who? Beck, yeah, I know that. Well, Beck did that a lot because there was a whole lot of criticism about what he said. He was sometimes just a little bit strong for Fox News even.
Yeah, and he was, he goes off the deep end a little
Right,
bit.
he's also a Mormon.
Yeah.
And which is nothing wrong being a Mormon, you know.
But they have some discrimination against them.
Well, yeah, they do, and I say that's a Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you know. And I look at it this way: if the Catholic Church can make somebody a saint, then I don't see why in the world the Mormon Church can't declare somebody to be a saint.
Well, I think they're all arguing over the same ticket, but I don't personally have a lot of faith in the Mormon belief as far as their golden tablets.
Well, I'd have to see them jewels, you know.
But you got to. There are other religious groups that I don't necessarily agree with. In fact, I disagree with them in a lot of things, but they're good people. They stick together. They do good things. They don't cause trouble. They don't rob banks. They don't kick their dogs.
Right.
I mean, that's good enough for me.
Right, yeah. And what is this church that so many of your actors belong to?
Scientology.
Yeah, Scientologists.
I ain't never figured that out.
Huh?
I ain't never figured that out.
I haven't either. I can figure out anybody that's supposed to be educated and as worldly as those people are, how in the world they could believe in all that.
L. Ron Hubbard invented it, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Well, he was a science fiction writer.
Huh?
He was a science fiction writer.
Yeah. Well, you know this celebration that the black people have.
Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa. That was invented by a guy who was behind San Quentin's bars. He was in jail when he come up with a Kwanzaa.
That's tomorrow.
Huh?
I mean, that's the day after tomorrow.
What, Kwanzaa?
Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
We'll be closed on Kwanzaa.
You had a sheriff here in Campbell County that was right rough on them Kwanzaa boys, you know it?
He was taking their gold chains.
They used to come down 75 and they'd stop all of them.
Yeah.
And they'd have to pay a ransom of, they'd take their gold and their money off of them, everything, let them going down to Knoxville.
Well, it's going to Atlanta.
Where they going to Atlanta? Okay, well, they probably didn't make it much further than Knoxville.
No, they run out of gas. They had to walk home, didn't they? Sell their car and buy a bus ticket.
Yeah. You know, to many people, you know, one of the real problems in this country is that people who have time to learn about these problems and be a part of the maybe the problems that's being addressed. In other words, the problems we're having with the government clamping down on this and clamping down on that, the problems we have with our free speech, freedom of religion and things of that nature, is that the people who really are the workers and the providers and the taxpayers of this country, they don't have time to be involved in this because, first of all, they got to work 4 or 5 months out of the year just to pay the government. Yeah. And then the only people that really have time to look into this stuff is the people who sitting around ain't doing nothing and all they want is another pill.
Yeah, and another check. But here's the thing about it. It is so gradual the way they're doing this thing. People don't realize what's happening to them. I don't think there's a master plan on most of this. There's a master plan to steer it in that direction. And it started with the progressive movements back in 1890s.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, and really hit its heyday in about 1900 to 1914.
Yeah, they had the Bellamy societies after Ralph Bellamy, who wrote Looking Backward, which was supposed to be a look back to 1897, I think, is when it was supposed to have been set. But it was supposed to be taking place in the year 2000, and everything was just perfect, and had a planned society, and everybody, wasn't no poor people, wasn't no hungry people.
Right.
Everybody was just going along great, and they kind of believed that people had educated themselves to the point and progressed to the point where they could plan a society and have a perfect life, and that was a big movement. I mean, there was Bellamy societies where they'd all get together and figure out how to promote this great future we're planning for ourselves.
Well, I've worked in a number of different capacities in my life, and I've always realized that what planners, architects, engineers can put down on paper may not necessarily work when you take it out to the job site or to wherever you're going to use it. But if you'll take it from the job site and bring it in and put it on paper, it'll work then.
Yeah, and it's when you have freedom to do things different ways, the best way will triumph.
Yeah.
Because you have the ability to fail, you also have the ability to perfect.
Right.
And that's what, I mean, the pyramids could not be built today besides the environmental impacts and all that stuff. And they might impede somebody's view, but the main reason they couldn't be built is because they're not up to code. I don't know whether they'd last 3,000 years if you build them now or not.
Right. No, you probably have to throw some plastic in there or something, you know. And, but you take even the Empire State Building. How long did it take you to build it originally? 3 years?
I think from the time that they broke ground to the time they cut the ribbon was 15 months.
15 months.
Yeah. I'm close, sir.
Less than a year and a half.
Yeah.
And they built it with very little modern equipment.
That's right.
Wasn't it built somewhere, around the 20s?
Mid-30s, I think it was in the mid-30s.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, well, in the 30s. I don't go as far as say mid. But here's the thing. You can't get a permit to build it
in 15 months.
Yeah. It took them.
You can't get everybody paid off in 15 months.
That's right. It took them longer than that to get a permit, much longer than that to get started on building a new
Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh well.
And how many cranes did they have to fall over up there in New York?
I don't know. They had 5 people killed on the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
I think. But this year other, I don't know.
Right. Well, have you ever seen any pictures of them constructing Hoover Dam?
Yeah. Louis Hine was working. He was one of them WPA photographers. He got the Oak Ridge. I mean, I guess he got Oak Ridge. I don't know if he did or not. They probably kept that under wraps. But he got the TVA. He got all North Dam and the whole TVA system. He got Empire State Building. He got Hoover Dam.
You get Hoover Dam?
I think it was him. I'm sure it was.
You ever see them old trucks come down the hill and lose their brakes?
No, I didn't. I ain't talking about movies. I'm talking about still pictures. I don't know who made movies.
Yeah, they had some movies, you know, of these trucks be running up down the hill, and them old 30-mile trucks, they'd lose their brakes and everything, and down the hill they'd go and they'd crash and probably kill somebody. They just sweep the debris out of the way and bury whoever got killed and keep on getting it.
They used to blow the horn and you'd be quiet for 5 minutes out of respect and then go back to work.
Right, yeah.
Well, now, we was out there in New Mexico.
Right.
And there's a lake out there. I don't know what it was. I forgot now.
Is it?
I don't even remember. It's been 20-something years ago.
Right, okay.
But we had this here motor home, and we was pulling a full-size pickup with a camper on it behind.
Right.
And we come to this thing, and we was going to go down there. And I swear there wasn't no guardrails. They don't waste money on guardrails out there.
I know.
And it was just like this.
That was Campbell County, Arizona, or New Mexico.
No, no, buddy. And we decided, you know, maybe this ain't real smart. So we put that motorhome, and it was a 4-speed. We
Right.
put it in, I guess, second gear.
Right.
And one of us drove.
Got in the
One of
pickup.
us drove the motorhome, the other one rode the truck just in case we needed some extra braking.
Right.
I didn't feel real good going. I mean, it was probably a half mile. Just looked like you were straight down.
I've probably been. You don't know what road you were on.
It was not an interstate, and it was they can't be that many lakes in New Mexico.
No.
It just looked like somebody painted that valley bright blue down there.
Right.
There wasn't a living thing around it, just red dirt.
Right. Yeah, I think I've been there. I don't remember exactly that. I got the name of that lake on the tip of my tongue. You might could pull it up here, but
Try.
it seems to me it starts with an H. And see.
Huron Lake, Elephant Butte, Conchas, El Vado, Fenton, Cabello.
Are those?
I can't go them places. I can't say them.
Are those? What, New
No,
Mexico?
that's all. No, that ain't all in New Mexico. Let's see here. I don't know who that'd be. New Mexico lakes, rivers, and water resources. Well, this is not just spreading knowledge all over, is it? Well, let's see if I can do this. This is New Mexico State Parks. Let's see. Blue Water Lake, Bottomless Lakes, Brantley State Park. I don't know. Wait a minute, here we go. There's a Cabala Lake. That's on the Rio Grande. Cimarron River, no. Let's see. I don't know. There couldn't be that many lakes in New Mexico. Just need to get a map that's got the. Let's see here.
I've been all out through there. I toured some of them off the roads and everything, and I think I've been to the one that you're talking about. But like I say, that's been
Well, I ain't gonna
that's been 30 years ago.
Well, I was there in probably 80, probably 1980.
Well, I started going out across there about 72. I made several trips out through there.
80, so that's
31 years.
33 years ago.
Right.
1980s when
Right.
1980s when I was there. Now wait a minute, it could possibly been It was, no, it wasn't 80. Yeah, maybe it was. It's 80 or 79, I don't know which.
Right, okay. I was out in there through there starting the early 70s, and I went out through there several times. Right on up to about 95, I'd been out through there.
Out there selling grave plots?
No, some of it I was on trips for the cemetery industry, but
well, we done told him about Digger right down in the middle of the road in Sawmill Holler, 562-5444.
right, and Digger corrected me today. I said he had Baskin Wilson's oil company. He said he only had 24 flavors.
That's 2 per month.
Yeah, I thought he had 48, and he said no.
Well, you know, there's 57 states.
Right, but he said he only had 24 different flavors, so I had him fill mine up with some of that candy stripe Christmas propane today.
Now, if you get the urge to pour a little concrete, and you will sooner or later, or you need a new septic system, and you will sooner or later,
yeah,
or you need anything related to those 2 items, you might want to go down to Dixie Concrete, 562-5656. They're good people to do business with, and they're just right down the road.
right, yeah, do that. And say they'll treat you right, you'll get your money's worth, you'll get it when you're supposed to, and in the consistency that you ask for. Anything from septic tanks to concrete to sand for your cat box, just whatever you need. You're going down and see Dixie Concrete, you can see them from the 4-lane here, just right over the bank there. A perfect example of what a concrete place needs to look like.
Yep, just look for the tower.
Right, yeah. And if your motor should skip while you're going down the road or looking at Dixie Concrete,
I'd say you need a tune-up, and you need to go down there to get you some spark plugs.
Just turn right in at
Napa, across the road from IGA.
Randy's place. That's Napa Auto Parts, right across from IGA, right on the corner of Old Jacksboro Pike and Jacksboro Pike. And just whatever you need, if they ain't got it, they'll get it.
Is it 562-9470? Is that right?
Yeah. No.
9406.
9406. That's Napa Auto Parts. And be sure they're locally owned. They're there to help you. They're not there just to go and pull a bunch of part numbers and not even know what you're getting or what you want.
They just hand you a part number,
right,
and if the part number says it's a distributor, I grab it. Don't make no difference if it's a rear wheel. It's still a distributor.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, here at Christmas time, if you should happen to get a hold of some bad tomato juice,
yeah,
and it start giving you complications, just call 562-9370. That's Vital Care Medical Transport. Been in business 40 years. They know what they're doing. They got the only mobile respirator. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Unless somebody else has bought one lately, they got the only one.
That's right.
They got one. That's all that matters.
Right.
Whether it's the only one or not.
The only other way is you're going to have to stay put and respirate.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they got the only one in available to Campbell County. I don't even think they got one Lifestar.
Wow.
Huh?
I said, wow.
I don't think they do. I don't think they have one even on Lifestar.
I'd say if they was flying me around that helicopter, it'd take my breath anyway.
Is that right? But call them. That's 562-9370. That's Vital Care Medical Transport. Don't cost you anything in the world for them to operate that business. In fact, they bring money into this county.
They do.
Because when they transport you somewhere and they collect from the insurance company, that's money that came elsewhere and came to Vital Care to pay their employees, pay their transportation costs, their equipment costs, and the rest of it, whatever's left over stays here.
That's correct. We have a lot of people running things that don't have any concept of basic economics and the way money operates and the way it flows. I don't have any dog in the fight, but we've got this here new filling station that they solicited to come in. Well, now that's fine. I'm all for competition, but the thing about it is they're just dividing the same pie. They just so much gas sold here.
Right.
So it don't help to generate any more revenue for anybody. It just divides up the money that was already here. Usually, if you create something, you actually expand the money supply. But when you're just fighting over the same dollars, that don't.
It's not like Bojangles coming in.
Yeah, and you know that right there, there's nothing wrong with Bojangles. I'd probably buy something from them as soon as they open.
Right.
But there are locally owned restaurants here that don't ship the profits out of town.
Well, yeah, we take Bojangles. I like Bojangles chicken. I like most of their food. But there's just so many dollars going to be spent on food up and down this road. So when you bring in another restaurant, all you've done is divided out what's going to be spent among one more company.
When you bring in something whose corporate office is out of town, you're pumping money out.
Yeah, they're going to take all the profit to wherever their corporate office is. It's like Lowe's Hardware. You know, I buy right much stuff from down at Lowe's, but whatever profits left over is going to go back to Bruton Smith. They're the ones that own most of your NASCAR racetracks, and the profits are going to go back to them. There's not very little of it's going to stay here in Campbell County. Now, I will say this. The other day I needed 4 washers with a 3/8" hole in them, okay? And I go down to Lowe's. All they got's a $5.95 bag of them, okay? I said, well, I needed some other stuff too. I said, I'll just go down to Smith Hardware. I go down to Smith Hardware. I bought 4 washers for 48 cents.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, for 48 cents plus tax. And of course, I got some other stuff too that I was there. I was going to get some 2 half-gallon containers of paint, but I went ahead and got it at Smith Hardware. The price was the same, and like I say, that's locally owned. And
yeah.
So
the profits stay here.
Stays here, and that's
unless we start making washers, they're going to have to send some of the money out.
Right.
But the profit stays here. Well, Lowe's is not making washers, and the profit don't stay here.
Right.
Either.
That's exactly right. And so I try to trade as much as I can with companies that are local, and of course sometimes I get to trade with some companies that are loco. You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
they got a few customers like that too.
Yeah. And talking about a loco business, just coming up to Bob's Emporium. Look, I've got 110 heaters, I got 220 stack heaters, I got 220 other type of heaters. I've got propane heaters, natural gas heaters, wall heaters. I've got 1 wood stove, 2 wood stoves left. I've got a real beautiful bedroom suite. If anybody's looking for a real nice bedroom suite, it's bed and mattresses, a dresser, a chest of drawers, and a couple of nightstands that go right along with it. So you might check with me. I got a good buy on them too. I got washers, I got dryers, I've got a little bit of everything.
Well, we shall be around at the beginning of the new year, I hope, going full force here at Circle R Middle, and I might have January sale on roofing. I'm kind of
Yeah.
contemplating that.
Yeah.
Just we'll see
I
how that
think
goes.
that's good, yeah.
And, you know, you don't get as cold if you're moving around.
Right.
Of course, if you guys need a window or a door or a buck box. The buck box is
Right.
going
Come
in.
on, I might put a January sale on also.
Buck boxes are going.
Wonder what I could get for January.
I don't know, but it does
Doesn't
bring
January bring more than
I was
February?
going to say it's got more territory.
Right, yeah, okay.
This ain't a leap year, is it? Coming up?
Pardon?
It's not a leap year coming up, is it?
I don't know.
Let me see if I can find the calendar here and we'll see. Nope.
Well, I don't guess I ask anybody to marry me. I don't guess anybody's going to ask me to marry him then.
I guess we're just stuck with each other,
guess
Bob.
I guess we'll have to wait till year after next, I guess, to for somebody to ask me to marry him.
Yeah, you got 2 more years and 2 months.
Right. Well, we also got 3 more years of Obama, haven't we?
Shoo. Yeah, in a month. 3 more years and a month.
Yeah, 20 days.
No, a month.
Is it a month?
Yeah, a month from now. The 20th of January, ain't it?
Yeah, today's the 24th.
Yeah, I know. So we got, I mean, I was just rounding up a little bit there.
I was rounding back the other way.
Well, no. I said, we got a 3 years and a month, and you said we had 3 years and 20 days. I'm closer than you are.
Right, well, maybe.
And we're arguing over 2 or 3 days anyway.
Hey, we'll quibble over a few days, you know, when you're talking about 3 damn years.
Yeah, you got that right. Really, just literally translated damned years,
Right,
is what I
yeah.
expect.
Yeah.
Now, he's going to recover after this year. He's going to keep rewriting that law until he gets it right. I don't see why we got Congress. We got a man up there writing laws.
That's what he does. You
They
know,
don't even tell the people. They just, I mean, it comes from a different source. Catherine Sebelius will say, we're going to do so and so.
Right. It don't make a difference what Congress passes. If he's
Yeah.
going to rewrite it
Yeah.
like the way he wants it.
I mean, they rewrote they done the DREAM Act by
there was
selective
one
enforcement.
state they really did a push for applicants to Obamacare, and
Yeah.
they had what 66 to sign up.
I don't know. I've heard 2 or 3 of them
Si-
stories.
66, and
They had one where they paid something like $200,000 a head for everybody that signed up.
right. Well, you know what all it's going to cost to institute Obamacare, and all the increase in premiums and everything. They could have just given everybody enough money.
Well, the thing to have done, first off, they ought to free the states to free the insurance companies to compete across state lines. They ought to put some sort of a cap on malpractice settlements. They should have done several things to free up the market.
Right, yeah.
Then, for the people that were not on the insurance, some of them never will sign up. They just,
Right.
they won't.
Right.
But the people that were not on the insurance, I don't believe there's anybody that didn't have access to Medicare. I mean,
Right.
to Medicaid if they were indigent and needed treatment.
Right.
But what they should have done is just, if they were going to have to do anything, they should have just increased Medicaid to take in them people that's left out. I mean, what they done, they had, what, 10, 15 million people that were not insured. So 15% of the people, supposedly, possibly as many as 15% of the people didn't have insurance. But the 85% who did are now the ones that's having trouble getting insurance.
Yeah.
And the 15 ain't gonna sign up either.
Right.
They wasn't interested in signing up before.
Well, I believe you're gonna have more people uninsured after Obamacare really takes effect than they had before.
I'm sure you will. I'd say you do right now.
Yeah. The only thing is that the government's going to be in control of your future and the future of your children, and they can bend and direct you whatever direction they want to go.
Well, here's what's going to happen. They're going to bail out the insurance companies first, because they can't. With the rules changing like they are, these guys can't plan their business in such a way to stay solvent.
Right.
So the government is going to have to bail out the insurance companies to get them out of the mess they've got them in. And when they get it smoothed out a little, it still ain't going to work to suit them. So then they're going to go with a government run health program. And you know, that's some of the stupidest people actually think that you can do stuff for nothing. And the people that...
Well, you get it from Obama's stage.
Yeah, but you know, a doctor goes to school...
Probably racks up $100,000 in debt.
Yeah, he goes to school till he's 30, 32 years old.
Yeah.
And if he's a surgeon, he could be, he could actually be disabled surgeon just almost immediately. You know,
Right,
people get disabling arthritis in early ages.
Yeah.
I mean, for the kind of stuff they do, but the working life, if he can stand it, his working life is going to be 30, 35 years.
Right.
And they put all that money and study and hard work, and actually torturers are going through residency and all that. And then what they're going to do? They're going to say.
You're making too much money.
Yeah, but they're going to say, you have to do this for free. So when you start forcing people to do stuff for free after they've done all that, there's going to be a few people that does it just because they love to do it, and they ain't want no money anyway, but there's going to be very few of them.
Right. True. Very true. So the marketplace was the best place in the world to do good for the insurance industry, because a lot of people don't realize insurance companies have somewhat of maybe a bad taste in their mouth as far as insurance companies are concerned. But one of the things that's made this country great is the resources that have been pooled in insurance companies, and this money that was pooled by the insurance companies has been put back out in loans to banks, to corporations, to all sorts of things. And that's one thing that's made this country great, was to have this big pool of money that had accumulated by insurance companies. And that's one of the things that separates the American economy. You can't go down, you used to not be able to go down, say, to South American countries and do what we did down there, because they could not insure their businesses, they couldn't insure their equipment, they couldn't do anything like we could do up here with the insurance companies. As a result, those companies stayed poor and we got richer and richer. It's only when you get these eggheads that come in here, and to me, I think that Obama is an intellectual idiot.
Well, the man is smart, but
we can't make a speech.
But it's like Ronald Reagan says, a lot of the things he knows is not correct.
Right, yeah.
But
he is such an egotistical person that he believes that everything he is doing and that he believes will work is somebody keeping it from working.
Yeah, I think that they had. I heard them say that they had to keep him off the internet through Christmas holidays At least he find out that the celebration wasn't about him.
Well, that's true. You know, I'm sure he probably felt like the star rose in the east because of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure. It rose over Hawaii there.
Yeah, that's exactly what it did, yeah.
You know, he's off in Hawaii now in 19 days, $4 million out of our pocket so he can go out there. He couldn't stay at home.
Right.
They don't charge him any rent.
Right.
Don't reckon. He's supposed to buy his own food and stuff.
Right.
Who knows? I reckon that's it. Bob, we've just about got it in. You ready to go?
Yeah, well, we just about done it in for today. And like I said, we're going in. This is Christmas Eve, folks. I hope all of you are with family, that you show a lot of love and respect for one another during this season, and that you remember that it is Merry Christmas, not Happy Holiday, and that Jesus is the reason for the season. If it were not for the birth of Jesus, you would not be celebrating a Christmas Day. Now, you know why it's the 25th of December?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because working backwards through the Passovers throughout history, you get back to March of the year of Jesus' birth, and the traditional belief is that those born on
9 months from the date of conception.
yeah, and they die
Right.
on their martyrs are supposed to die on their birthday.
Right, yeah.
So if you work backwards from the time and work 9 months backward from
Right.
it works into December is what I'm saying.
Right. So it all works out for December because Jesus was crucified in March, right, or April.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Depends
Within
on
that quarter.
yeah.
Okay.
It depends on where the moon's at.
Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so that's why they come up with 25th day of December as his earthly birth date. So, happy birthday, Jesus.
See you,
See you,
folks.
folks.
Merry Christmas.